So recently, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, hugely popular series, and I made a TikTok just talking about my thoughts and basically saying that I really didn't like it and I would probably not continue reading on. And I got a lot of comments to the tune of, "Oh, the second book redeems the first book. It gets so much better. Everything will be explained away, and everything will make sense by the second book. And from then on, it's just a great series." And I have a fundamental problem with this line of thinking overall. Should you keep reading a series if the first book is really bad? I don't think you should. I personally see each book as its own story to tell with a beginning, middle, and end. If you don't feel satisfied with the first book, especially if it's like really bad, in the case of Akatar, at least in my opinion, where the first book, the characters, I did not like any of the characters. So I can't imagine reading the second book and being like, oh yeah, suddenly now I'm liking these characters and I want to hear about their story. Yeah, the first book to me has this duty to hook you into the series and explain things to you and make you interested in this world. And if it can't achieve that, why would I keep reading? The thought experiment that I think about when looking into this specific issue is a new series starts out, right? And let's say, we go back in time to when the first Akatar book came out. And during that time, the first book comes out, right? We don't know how many books will come after. We don't know, especially like with a lot of series, we don't know if there are even, if it's going to be even successful enough to continue on. So being in that time, right? The book comes out. I don't know anything about what comes next, right? I don't have anyone telling me that the next book is going to be good or it's going to be redeemed. If I read that book, would I be excited about the next one in the series to come out like a year or a few years later? No. And I will say there are exceptions to the rule. The one obvious exception for me is something like Discworld, where the first two books, Light Fantastic and The Color of Magic, those two are okay. I'm not going to say they're bad. I like the characters in the story and I think they're pretty funny. But the thing with that series is, even if those books don't hook you, it's not really a connected story from start to finish. Rather than that, it's more of each book is kind of its own thing for the most part. So there, I would say I would make an exception. But yeah, for like a linear series, personally, if the first book doesn't get me, and especially if it's like really bad and I don't like any of the characters, I don't see any reason whatsoever to keep on going.